12-step program for conscious living. My name is Holly Hall from AskHollyHall.com. In light of a podcast where I'd heard Dr. Gabor Maté, a doctor and an author and an in-demand public speaker, state that everything is an addiction and the 12-step program could serve everyone in various ways. Part of Maté's pull, people are attracted to within his work, is about his own ability to admit to his own addictive tendencies and his belief that most of us meet somewhere along the addiction spectrum. What I like about Dr. Maté, who has worked in the Vancouver area trying to help with addictive and controversially helping with addictive people on the streets, he's also voiced his honesty about him having his own addictions, such as a workaholic, even going on vacations with his wife. He couldn't stop working. He openly talked about his weakness to manage the urge to go shop binges for classic music CDs, referring to his addiction about having to wear dainty white gloves, and his willingness to place himself on the addiction continuum. So here is my rendition of the 12-step programming for you to become more evolved and to grow spiritually. Step 1, we admit we were powerless over our addiction and desires, that our lives have become unmanageable without them. So what this means is that you're admitting that your life is not unmanageable without them, that you can manage without these addictions or these desires. Step 2, came to believe that Source, our higher self, or a universal power greater than ourselves, could restore us to a non-attachment and a more conscious state of being. Step 3, make a decision to turn our will and or surrender over to the care of our higher self. Right? So we want to take a look at our higher self, our inner being, our inner sense of knowing. Step 4, make a searching and a fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So the moral inventory is not on the moralities of what you think other people believe the morality should be. It's your own personal morals. Step 5, admitted to ourselves and to another human being the exact awareness of our behavior. Step 6, we are entirely ready to remove all old patterns and no longer serve us or our character. And so we're shifting and we're changing our being, our inner being, which will come out in our character, in our characteristics, how people see us from now on. Step 7, humbly ask ourselves to remove our own shortcomings. Step 8, make a list of all persons we may have affected and become willing to make amends to them, to all of them, and most of them. Now, I'm going to detail this at the end, but especially to yourself. All right? And step 9, make direct amends to such people wherever it's possible, as long as it's not going to harm them or hurt them or injure them in any way. And then we're going to move on to step 10. So step 10 is to continue to take personal inventory. So continue the work within yourself to continue to learn. And when you're off track, just to create more awareness and to admit to it and then move on, move forward. Right? And then we've got step 11. Sought through self-love. Okay? And so what was meant by to sought through self-love and to meditate to improve your consciousness and your conscious behavior and your conscious connection. So you're doing all of this through self-love. Right? And when you do this through self-love, this is what is affecting and helping other people in their own personal self-love, especially the people that you live with and who are around you. Step 12. Step 12, the final step of the 12 steps, is having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. We try to carry this message with us and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. As you can see, Some of the above may seem extreme for small evolutionary processes, such as I personally have come to the realization that there is some damaging to the planet and to some wildlife in the Amazon around palm oil, and that palm oil are in chips, for instance. They're in a lot of things. And so one might say, I no longer want to purchase chips that have palm oil or non-sustainable palm oil anymore, as an example. Now, you don't have to go around telling everybody like you've hurt anybody or harmed anybody because you've been eating chips all these years, but you could share the knowledge as an FYI. So that's my amended list of the 12-step program, inspired by a podcast with Gabor Maté. And that's his 12-step program for conscious living. Thanks for listening. This is Holly Hall from AskHollyHall.com. I am a master astrologer, a life coach, a business coach with a background in education in philosophy and psychology, and I consider myself a